Yeah, there's been frustration with the situation surrounding Stephon Gilmore and the New England Patriots really for months. He has wanted a new contract, and the Patriots wanted to really see him healthy just to make sure that the player they were giving a new contract or at least a raise to was worth it. In the end, he ended up on the PUP list and now is being released. Earlier this morning, the Patriots informed Stephon Gilmore that they were moving on from him. And now they had several teams interested in potentially trading for Gilmore. Again, the health was a concern. This was something that really had been going on for several months. Now, as Gilmore nears a possible return off the PUP list, it is not going to be with New England. They are simply moving on from just another star player that the Patriots moved on from after contract frustrations. They start fresh, and now Gilmore is expected to be a free agent, basically healthy, so should have several teams vying for his services.
And can that happen today? Is it like a 4 p.m. situation that he would be available? And, of course, Cowboys, Jalen Smith as well. Is this all 31 teams, which I'm sure get interest? This is very rare that someone like with this caliber, four-time Pro Bowler, is available going into week 5 of the season. When can that all happen? Today?
4 p.m. today. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, theoretically, if a team wanted to come in and trade for Jalen Smith, obviously the Cowboys would eat as much salary as they could. They're going to release him anyway. So potentially maybe a team could trade for him before 4 p.m. if there was a real battle for his services. And, you know, similar situation for Stephon Gilmore. Teams know he's going to want a lot of money. But, yeah, at 4 p.m. today is when the releases would be official unless the team trades for one of these guys beforehand.
So Jalen Smith and Stephon Gilmore on the market. Interesting. We'll track that story all day long here on NFL Network. Thank you so much, Ian. Talk to you in a bit. Schrags, I saw him on Sunday night.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. What do you think of this news?
Was he on the sidelines?
No. I did not see him on the sidelines.
I think they were on poor terms by the time this thing came to be. He's 31 years old. He's coming off a quad injury, and yet I think the market's going to be robust for him. I think this is a guy who can still play, and they're still. I'm shocked they didn't get anything for him, and they put him on the market.
What's up with that?
And they just said, let's just cut bait. Let's just be done with it. I'm surprised right now. I thought that there was going to be a market. There will be a market. If Richard Sherman can sign with Tampa Bay last week after having not played all season.
That's where I think he may go.
Is that a destination? Is Tom Brady going to call it?
Why not go to Tampa Bay?
Tom Brady knows him very well.
Tom Brady knows them well. They're going to be a contender. He can be the guy kind of, get Gilmore into the program. So why not? But I do think the emergence of J.C. Jackson made this easier for the New England Patriots. You don't just give up a Defensive Player of the Year at the cornerback position. You don't just let this guy walk without getting anything back. And so I just think that the emergence of J.C. Jackson, the emergence of, or the fact that Jalen Mills has been playing decent and the defense as a whole has been okay, I think that's why they were able to let him go. But, that's tough, man, to let a former defensive player walk out. He still can lock guys down. It just seemed like that it was some personal stuff there that maybe they couldn't get over.
That's why it makes it sexy. I mean, the New England's 1-3. I don't know what's going to happen to their season, but, like, this guy becoming single in the middle of this season at this juncture, like, there are some very good teams whose secondary is, like, really bad. I mean, Kansas City obviously comes to mind. You think about Baltimore when they lost Marcus Peters. Washington's secondary is terrible. Tennessee's secondary. Like, all of these guys who are like, all right, we're pretty good or we're really good, but, man, let's make the move now. You don't get opportunities in week 5 to get a Defensive Player of the Year. Like, the only reason that maybe Tampa wouldn't get him, and that's their MO, is that someone else wants him more and outbids or gets him first. Like, this is a big deal. This is a guy coming free that people want.
Triggs, why now? So he was eligible to come off PUP at a quad injury after week 6.
After week 6. The trade deadline's approaching. I would think they would hold on to him and at least do it. I'm sure there's more to the story than we know. And I would say that they're letting him out. This is one of those deals where if he gets signed and picked up right away, it was not a health thing. It was, let's go. This is the end of the road. We're not going to do it. Why even waste our time? Let's let him go and let's move our way. Then Stephon Gilmore can sign and play for a contender. You know, another team, he played at South Carolina. I think he's from down, like the Carolina Panthers lost J.C. Horn. They still think they're very relevant, and David Tepper is a spender.
That's a great call.
I could see him going down there. It's not as high profile as maybe a Kansas City or elsewhere, but there's going to be teams lining up for Stephon Gilmore's services. Now, the money, I couldn't tell you if he's going to make what he did when he was a free agent a couple years back with the Patriots. But I will say this. He was worth every single penny to the Patriots. The play he had in the AFC Championship game where he backs the move from on a deep pass from Blake Bortles and then completely just shutting down Brandon Cooks.
I think he got robbed as Super Bowl MVP. They gave it to Edelman, and I think he should have gotten it.
He was that good.
With that pick, he did release a statement, guys. Pats Nation, it's with mixed emotions that I announced my goodbye to this great fan base. We enjoyed so much success together, an incredible inspiration for my individual achievements. Thank you for supporting this Rock Hill kid and allowing him to achieve his NFL dreams. He goes on to thank Mr. Kraft, the fans, and of course the teammates who stood by his side for all of those great moments.
Get up out of there.
We'll have more on this throughout the morning here on Good Morning Football. Meanwhile, the Giants, they're going to Jerry World on Sunday. Bad news for Big Blue. They've lost the last 7 games against the Cowboys when Dak Prescott is the starting quarterback, and he will be. So week 5 on the road. Can the Giants pull off the upset against Dallas? KB?
Yeah, absolutely they can. You know what the craziest thing is? If I were to tell you before the season, we're doing all this pontificating about how the Giants season is going to go. If I were to say to you that NewJersey.com has a headline after week 4 that says, Daniel Jones is the real deal, which they do, we'd be like, oh my God, they're 3-1. They're on fire. They're not.
Is that for real?
It's a real headline. Daniel Jones is the real deal. They can win with this guy. He's winning everybody over. He has been so quietly good, and I really mean that. I've given this guy a lot of guff. I've busted his chops a lot. He's been really good. If I were to tell you that he averages less than a turnover per game, that he has thrown 1 interception, like all of it comes up like, damn, Daniel Jones is doing his job. We thought it was going to be all these Kyle Rudolphs and John Rosses and Sterling. No. Like, Daniel Jones is good. And I'm telling you, like, it feels great to even say because of how much he gets made fun of. A lot of times by me, if they can get behind Daniel Jones, not Saquon or anybody else, they can win this game. I'm telling you, he's been that good.
He's one of their best playmakers.
Yeah.
He uses his legs, too. But what I saw against the Saints was something special, and it happened with 7 minutes left in the game. It's like, let's use Saquon in a way that might not be the traditional 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Let's put Saquon out wide. And that was something that was different from the Giants. The Saquon pass play, which really kickstarted this comeback win, was so symbolic of what the Giants should be doing. We watched the Chiefs and the Cardinals and the Chargers with all their exotic offense. They've got as good a playmakers as anybody. That was the Saquon play. How about the Tony play, where suddenly you see Kadarius Toney in this game, and you're like, all right, this guy can make some moves. Look at this play. I showed it earlier in the show. This is like his first touch as an NFL player. And he does it. It's like, what? How do you get these guys the ball that's in space?
Jason Garrett getting these guys the ball?
It's the problem. What do we do? How do you get these guys? That is what they need to do. The Cowboys' defense has been really stout. They have. And Trayvon Diggs has been excellent. You have playmakers on this offense.
You don't see this very often while you're
You don't. No. And then there's this. Why not use him out of the pocket once in a while? He's got leg. I know he isn't Kyler or Lamar, but Daniel Jones can run. This one was called back. There's a penalty, whatever, but
he
it
runs
just
like
shows
Josh
you a
Allen.
flash. He does.
Yeah. No, he does not run like Josh
Mike,
Allen.
yes, he does.
Get the hell out of here, man. That's one play. He does not run like Josh Allen. I'm not saying he's not athletic.
Not as physical as Josh Allen?
He's just not as physical. Josh Allen's a different beast when he's running the football. I'm not saying Daniel Jones doesn't have that athletic ability, but to me, this offense and this team still has to get around Saquon Barkley. Saquon still, to me, has to be the focal point. Yes, Daniel Jones can make the throws. We knew that previous to this season that he can make every throw. The issue was not turning the ball over. The issue was not turning the ball over in critical situations. That was always Daniel Jones' issue. I love the fact that he can throw the ball. He has arm talent. We knew that. We saw in the last couple of years he could run the football, but this offense still has to revolve around that guy, Saquon Barkley. And I think last week he showed people, hey, man, I'm starting to get my confidence back. I mean, this play right here represents what Saquon Barkley can do. And Jason Garrett, Daniel Jones, everybody on the offensive side of the ball needs to make sure they're getting him the ball in space. Again, Daniel Jones is playing well, but I don't think he should be the focal point of this offense. He should be a complementary piece to the run game, or a complementary piece to making sure Saquon is explosive.
But there's still the guy pushing the buttons, right? So like, I used to play Punch-Out with my brother all the time, and like you have to hit the right button at the right time, and I would get good at it and then not do it for a week, and then I would suck again. And I'd be like, why can't I build off of what I did? I just had it last week, so I'm going to credit Jason Garrett because I like seeing a deep go to Kenny Golladay. Let Kadarius Toney be involved in the short passing game and do what he can to make plays and gain yards. Line Saquon Barkley up as wide receiver. I will give Jason Garrett a lot of credit here. Deep strike to John Ross, all of that. getting all these guys involved. He pressed all the right buttons. He knew when to punch, and he did it. So to me, what I saw in the second half, Kyle, just like carry that over. Like take what worked and do it again. Like don't get cute. Don't forget about, I don't even know. Don't get away from this. This is all I need to see from them.
Thing is, Piston Honda's eyebrows go up when he's about to punch, and you got to learn from that. Adams, I bet you it would piss you off to lose to Soda Popinski in particular, given the household and the way you grew up. I mean, you don't want to lose to Popinski.
I can't lose to Popinski. You want to do it. You know what I mean? Stay creative against Dallas. It was a huge, to me, a huge win for Jason Garrett. Do you guys think he's like emotionally charged going back to Dallas?
Hell yes, absolutely. I don't think we're talking about it enough.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, he was fired. He was a coach of the year in Dallas, and now everyone says, can he coordinate offense? Yeah, I think it's a big deal.
They went back there last year, and Michael Gallup just killed him on those toe touches, those toe taps. Michael Gallup, and it was a heartbreaking loss for the Giants in Dallas. This might feel upset special.
Hey!
Keep it going, Garrett. Learn from what worked. Be creative and get it done.